Mic check, mic check. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? The light is on, so I believe it's working. What's going on, everybody? Just had New Hampshire. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was half watching the first half, half watching my Colts destroy the Tennessee Titans. Best team in football. Don't care what anyone says. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cutline post New Hampshire edition. And I thought this race was going to be, I don't know. I like New Hampshire. I don't know if it's because I'm just weird, but I personally like New Hampshire. I think New Hampshire is it's a solid track that produces solid racing. It's not a barn burner. It's not the best track in the world, but it gets the job done, which is a lot better than what you could say for most tracks nowadays. Because I thought the race today was solid. When we get to the race weekend rankings, I'll show you guys exactly where I have this thing ranked, but I thought the race was solid. And before we get started here, I'm waiting for the NASCAR website to put up the official results, because it hasn't done that yet. Let's see here. Can someone let me know if they put the official results yet on the NASCAR website? Because they haven't done that for me yet. Let me see if I go to live here. No, nothing yet. Maybe it's on Twitter. Let's see. Maybe Bob Pockrass has it. Let's see. No, nothing yet. You see, this is like one of the caveats of starting as soon as the race starts. You wait for all the information to get in, and it takes a while. So that's why I haven't gone straight into the. That's why I haven't gone straight into it, because I'm waiting for all this to go through, and it hasn't gone through yet. What did you guys think of the race? What did you guys think of it? Here we go. All right, perfect. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump straight into it here. So, if you guys don't know how this works, we've been doing this for the round of 16, and we're going to continue to do it this way up until the championship 4, where basically I just go over every playoff driver, talk about how they did, some highlights, some lowlights, and then we'll go ahead and look at the standings as well afterwards. Good, great, let's begin. Starting off with Ryan Blaney. Blaney got the win, one of the best performances of the year for Blaney. And of course, he won at Nashville. He won at Daytona. It was their first Daytona win. And this was a track that we were waiting for Team Penske to just shine at. You know, Penske hasn't really been that fast at the flat tracks like they have been at seasons past. But today, it was all Team Penske. I mean, think about it. Look at the results. You got Blaney first, Barry second. Shout out to Barry, by the way. Actually had a clean day, and he made the most of it. A runner-up finish. Could have easily won if he didn't overcook it with, I believe, 11 laps to go. Logano fourth. He was my pick to win, and you could see why. He led 147 laps and, of course, won the pole. Now, unfortunately, you don't see Austin Cindric until you get all the way down here to 17th, which was kind of disappointing. I was expecting a little more out of that 2 car, but they just didn't really perform. But we'll get to Austin Cindric when we get a little bit down. But yeah, this was a chance for Penske to really right the ship and just set sail. And give credit to them. Penske's been on it. Blaney's been fast. Logano's been fast. Barry is qualified good. He just can't finish a damn race up until today. And Cindric, he's been Austin Cindric. But Blaney started second, ran up front for much of the day, led the second most laps. You can see here 116 on the day, and locks himself into the round of 8. Blaney is my championship pick, so I'm happy to see that it's still alive, and Ryan Blaney is the first driver to lock himself into the championship 4. And there we go. And think about the upward trajectory that Blaney has been on. Like, the beginning of the year, he had speed, but it was DNF after DNF after DNF. Then he finally gets that win at Nashville, and he starts to finally get some good finishes. The top 5s come in, the top 10s come in, the wins come in. And you're seeing, like, this is why I picked Blaney as my championship favorite. My problem with Blaney was always going to be reliability, but it feels like that reliability is now a thing of the past in the sense of he doesn't have reliability. So, with that being said, it's good to see that Ryan Blaney is finally starting to get the job done. And, again, 3rd win of the season. I could easily see him getting more. So, I would not be surprised if this 12 car, again, makes the championship 4. And, again, he's my pick to win the championship. William Byron in 3rd. This is a big day for the 24. Loudon isn't really a Hendrick track, but it kind of was for much of the day. You see Byron in 3rd, Elliott in 5th, Larson in 7th. Bowman, he's somewhere. He's somewhere, right? Yeah, okay, 15th, but he's Alex Bowman. But a day where we all thought that Hendrick would struggle, they actually did pretty well, and you got to give credit to not just Byron, but Chase as well. They capitalized on it. Byron qualified 5th, ran top 5, got the 3rd most points out of anyone today, finished 3rd. And I think this is Byron's first top 5 of the playoffs. Like, that 24 has kind of been, they didn't really do it at Darlington. Gateway, I think they finished top 10. And Bristol, they were really nowhere. Very strong run here at Loudon. Held off Joey Logano, who obviously led the most laps. So you got to give credit where credit is due to that 24. This is the exact day that they needed and the day we were expecting from them. What's up, BF? I told you people, Ryan Blaney will be the champion this year. Hey, I picked Blaney to be the champion. All right, I was on the same horse as you are, man. I picked Blaney to win the title as well. Joey Logano in 4th. This was, in my opinion, I know Joey's won championships and, he's gotten the odd win here or there, but in my opinion, this is the most impressive Logano win I've seen in years because he doesn't have the advantage of winning a race off fuel or a strategy or, just coasting the round of 8 because he locked himself into the final 4. This was a race where he was on the outside looking in terms of the playoff cut line. He won the pole. And for the first time in a long time, that 22 had real race winning speed. We haven't seen that out of Joey Logano in a long, long time. The only exception we have with Joey Logano and race winning pace is the final race of the year at Phoenix. And that's only when he's actually in the final 4. If he's not in the final 4, he's nowhere. So with the 22 showing pace like this, it's a good sign. Because what has been the main reason people have criticized Joey Logano's last 2 titles is because he's not fast. He's not finishing well. He's running 15th, 16th, and then all of a sudden he gets to be the champion. Today is the Joey Logano that looked like a defending champion. 147 laps led, more than anyone today. Won the pole, finished top 5, 2nd most points on the day. That is a performance of a defending champion. Not what we've had in the past where he just gets the lucky win at Nashville, makes it on fuel at Las Vegas, and then wins at Phoenix because he just holds off Ryan Blaney, which, again, is still impressive. But this was the first time we actually seen Logano have real pace. And if they keep that up, that 22 is going to be really dangerous for the rest of these playoffs. And he could make his first back-to-back Final Four appearance in his entire career. Think about that. Logano has the most Final Four appearances out of any driver in history, but he's never made back-to-back Final Fours. Raging Knuckles, Logano led more laps today than he did the whole season. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Best performance of the year, in my opinion, for Joey Logano. Logano's the most hated driver that I do not like. Well, Logano doesn't really help his case, BF, I'm going to be real with you. And I think Logano likes being the most hated driver. Chase Elliott in 5th. I thought this was going to be another poor performance from the 9. You see, qualified 27th. I thought, okay, it's going to be like the rest of the playoffs. He's going to run 15th. He's going to run 10th and really do nothing. But credit to the 9. They actually had pace. Again, Hendrick had pace this today. Qualified 27th, not good, but worked his way up through the field, had real top 5 speed, and was able to show it. And you can see that with his 5th place finish. Even chipped in a few laps led along the way. And in terms of the playoffs, in my opinion, this is Elliott's best performance these playoffs. This is the Chase Elliott that we're accustomed to seeing. Running top 5, competing for wins, and just being sneaky, sneaky good. Like, when we criticize Chase Elliott for not winning, it's because we expect more out of the 9. Like, I was talking about in the Daily Downforce Discord during the race, but I have a hot take. I personally don't really care if you have a good average finish. If you're not winning, your average finish means nothing to me. Because there is something about winning that, whether it's the pressure, getting everything correct. You saw it today. Josh Berry trying to pass Ryan Blaney, and he overcooks turn 3, and then he doesn't get the win. He has to settle for second. That is the pressure of winning a race. But Josh Berry finished second. Still a good result, but there is a different tier you have to enter from just running second or top 5 to winning the race. You saw that today with Josh Berry. He couldn't enter that tier despite having easily the faster car than the 12. It's that extra step that you have to take, and that 9 hasn't shown that. It's like they were, I'm not saying they are, but it's like they're complacent to stay at that good, consistent step, but they're not willing or not capable of taking that extra step. That's why I say I don't really care about what your average finish is if you don't win. Like, Kyle Larson, 2021, 10 wins, second best average finish. Denny Hamlin, 2 wins, better average finish than Larson. What do we remember? Obviously, Larson won the title, but what do we remember more than anything? I mean, even if we go back to 1996, the year Terry Labonte won the title, we remember that. We don't even remember Terry Labonte winning the title. We remember Jeff Gordon winning 10 races and couldn't win it, and couldn't win the cup, because wins carry more value. In the sense of, I would rather have 2 wins on the year and an average finish of 15th than 0 wins and an average finish of 13th. But that's just me personally, because I see winning as you have to take another step compared to others. The 22 knows you just have to win one time to lock in the playoffs. That's also true. Once he won Texas, the 22 did R&D rest of the regular season. Now they put the trusted setups in. That's another truth. Like, you don't have to be consistent. Like, I'm sure Logano wants to run better, but he knows he doesn't have to, which, again, kind of defeats the whole point of playoff points and things like that, because, you know, oh, you should run better for more playoff points. Well, you don't really need them. We've seen multiple times where the guys with the most playoff points doesn't even make the Final Four. So, kind of, sort of, not really. Megadeth, Hamlin gave away a top 5. Where did Hamlin finish? 12th. We'll get to Denny in a minute. Christopher Bell qualified 19th. He was my original pick to win, because considering this is Loudon and this is his best track by far. 6th place result. Took him a while to get there, but, you know, I'm a little disappointed with Bell. I mean, anytime it's Christopher Bell, I'm expecting him to compete for the win here, and a 6th place result. I know he qualified 19th, but just, I expected a little more out of the 20. Larson in 7th, kind of like Chase Elliott, but just didn't have the speed of the 9. Still got a 7th place result out of it from 16th to 7th. Show that you at least were able to make some passes today at Loudon. So finally got a top 10. First top 10 for the 5 team in the playoffs. It's a good sign to come. Ross Chastain in 9th. Decent result for Chastain here as well. Qualified 8th, finished 9th, ran top 10, stayed in the top 10. Kind of what he needs to do. Now, I would like to see that one car start running top 5 a little more, because I think he needs to run top 5 if he wants to make it out of the round of 12. I have him getting eliminated in the round of 12, but he's doing enough. I'm just worried that enough isn't going to be enough, because you see guys like Logano running 4th, Elliott running 5th, guys who are ahead, who are around him in points, kind of nowhere, or running up there. and Chastain is just lagging behind. So I need to see a little more out of the 1 in order for me to confidently say he has a chance at making it to the next round. Briscoe in 10th. I was very disappointed in Briscoe, kind of 10th place result, which, isn't bad. But given how strong he was in the first round, winning at Darlington, was running up front, leading laps at Gateway, running up front, leading laps at Bristol. And today he was kind of nowhere. Yeah, he led 19 laps, but mostly due to strategy. And qualified 18th, finished 10th, got a top 10 out of it, but he was really nowhere in terms of competing for the win. He had nothing for the Penske guys, really nothing for Byron or even Bell or Larson. So Briscoe, 10th place, not bad, but I'd like to see a little more of the 19, which I think we will once we go to tracks like the Roval and Kansas. Denny in 12th. Megadeth said he gave away a top 5, finished 12th. Denny was kind of okay today, but he got 5 wins on the year. He's got the cushion. So, he can afford to have a mediocre run like this, but we've seen it before where guys, they will have mediocre runs, and it kind of makes it a trend where they start to stumble. Kansas, I think, will be fine. The Roval, I'm very worried about the Roval for Denny. So, let's try to see if we can find the standings later on. But, yeah, Denny, I'm just kind of disappointed because he's not been a good road course racer this year. And he needed to run well here in Kansas to give himself enough of a buffer to where he can kind of use the Roval as a throwaway. 12th is all right, but, Denny really needed to finish like 8th, 7th, 6th. 12th? If I'm the 11, I'm kind of disappointed. 23-11 had a horrible day today. I believe the next playoff guy, Cindric is next up. Again, Cindric, I kind of talked about him briefly. Very disappointed with the 2 today. It had nothing compared to, whether it was Blaney, Barry, even Logano. He was nowhere compared with them. So, very disappointed with Cindric. I had eliminated in the round of 16. He made it to the round of 12, but I don't see Cindric making the round of 8 personally. And then the 23-11 guys. Reddick, very strong qualifying effort. Horrific result. Raging said it perfectly. A horrible day. No speed out of the 45. Look at it. 21st. Bubba in 26th. What happened? Did the 23-11 guys just have good qualifying pace and no race pace? Were they Haas F1? I was expecting a lot more into these two, and they were nowhere. Bubba was getting outrun by Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst. Do you know how bad you have to be when you're getting outrun by Riley Herbst? Reddick almost got outran by Riley Herbst. Look at this. You hope that this is just a one-off. We're going to Kansas, which has been a good track for 23-11 in the past, but they've kind of been nowhere at Kansas the past 1 or 2 trips there. So hopefully they can turn it around at Kansas. I had Bubba make it to the round of 8. He's kind of in a hole right now. 26 will do that to you. Reddick I'd bounce in this round. So kind of just the inconsistency with Reddick, but Bubba he was nowhere. And I believe that is it for the playoff guys. Shout out to SVG, though. Qualified 10th, was running top 10 for much of the day, but then crashed out. Well, he got crashed and then, multiple laps down, but he did have a good day. So that is the playoff drivers, and let's see if the standings are updated. No, they are not. All right, fantastic. Let's actually go ahead and see if Bob Pockris has updated the standings for us. No, he is not. All right. This is annoying. Anyone in the chat, do me a favor. If you guys have any updated standings and know where I can find them, let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can find them. Let's see. Here we go. We'll just use this one. Shout out to who is this? Steven Toronto. Shout out to you, Steven. We're gonna borrow your playoffs. I have posted in race reactions. Appreciate you, Rage and Knuckles. All right. So Blaney locked in. Byron plus 47. Larson plus 41. So those two, they just have to above a certain threshold, like I'd say like 38 points or above, you just have to maintain. Byron and Larson, they just have to maintain. If they have a good Kansas, run top 5, run top 10, finish there, they should be good to advance to the round of 8. Then you kind of have this, you're feeling good, but don't be complacent category, which is kind of where you're like 24 to like 31 points above the cut line, where it's good, but that can very easily be cut in half like that. And that's where Bell, Hamlin, and Logano are right now. They're good. They're in a good spot. They could sleep easy tonight. But don't be complacent at Kansas. Don't be complacent at the Roval. Because that 29-point cushion for Bell can easily go away. Again, like that. I mean, a DNF at Kansas, and he's 9 points above. Or possibly below the cut line. Hamlin, plus 27, kind of the same thing. And Logano, plus 24. Then you get to the, I'd sweat a little bit here, where it's, you're all right, you have a cushion, but you're not sleeping well at night. And that's where Elliott and Briscoe are right now. Plus 14, plus 12. Again, you're talking a stage win, and I believe a fourth place finish in the stage, and then all of a sudden you're on the cut line. Let's say Ross Chastain. He wins stage 1 at Kansas, and he finishes 9th. And Briscoe gets nothing. Then they're tied. So, Elliott and Briscoe, they need to run well. They need to finish top 5. They need to finish top 10. But they're more under pressure to do that, whereas Bell, Hamlin, and Logano can maybe afford a top 15, maybe at the most a top 20. Elliott and Briscoe, they need to finish top 10. I'm not going to go as far as to say top 5, but definitely top 10. And then the guys up below, Chastain, Cindric, Reddick, Bubba. Bubba, I am very disappointed in, because the thing with Bubba is, and I'm going to focus on the 23 because, again, I had him making it to the round of 8, is we've never really seen the 23 come from adversity in terms of points. Obviously, he won the Brickyard and he locked himself into the playoffs, but he was already above the cut line as is. So it kind of just reinforced that he was going to make it. 27 points is no easy task. It's a lot easier to lose 27 than to make up 27. Because even if Bubba runs top 5 at Kansas, which I very easily think he can, I mean, you're probably still going to have Briscoe, Elliott, Hamlin, Bell up there with you, and that 27 is only going to get you maybe to 19, to 12. And then you're talking about Bubba potentially having to win or finish top 5 at the Roval. I mean, Bubba has been very good this year. He has impressed me a lot. He has come a long way as a driver this year. This has easily been his best season. But I don't know if 27 points out, I just don't know if that team is capable of digging themselves out of that hole. At least me personally. Reddick, again, he's been very inconsistent, but I've seen it from him. I mean, last year he literally went from tumbling at Vegas to winning in Miami. So I know the 45 can do it, even though he hasn't won this year. I at least have history to show that he can't do it. I just don't know if he's going to do it this year. Cindric, I don't see it. That 2 car is very hit or miss, and I don't like the tracks for him coming up. And then Chastain, again, kind of like what I said before, he's good, but I need him to be great. Can he be great? I think the 23 and the 45, they can be great. Cindric's ceiling, I think, is good. Chastain, I think, can be great. I just don't know if he will be great. I got to say, Chase Briscoe filled in great shoes of Truex Jr. When he retired last year, he was my driver. I'm assuming you meant to say Chase Briscoe. But, yeah, Briscoe's been very, very good in the 19 so far this year. He's been a lot of people's Dark Horse Championship 4 favorite. Again, plus 12, not great, but not awful. You're never going to complain when you're above the cut line, but you're going to be sweating a little bit. Just saying. All right, let's move on to the race weekend rankings tier. Loudon, thankfully, was only 2 races. I'm going to be real with y'all. Typically, I cut these out because of work and a bunch of stuff. I just say, you know what, we're just going to roll with it for now. But coming in second, I'm going to give it to the truck race. Truck race, I mean, it was all right. It was just mostly Corey Heim domination. Although him tying the single season record for most wins in a season, I loved it. If you guys follow along with me on the Daily Downforce Discord, I love seeing history. It's why I'm fine with domination. Like, Corey Heim winning 9 races. This is arguably going to go down as one of the best truck seasons in history. Let's say Heim wins another race, which he very easily could. Makes the Final 4, which he should. And wins the championship, which it's one race. You never know what's going to happen. Even if he doesn't win the title, I'm willing to bet he will have the most wins out of any season in trucks at the end of the year. The most laps led. He will lead every statistical category, maybe besides average finish. But other than that, this will go down as, in my opinion, the best truck season in history. And I give this race props for that because I love seeing history in the making. Like when I saw Jimmy Johnson win his 7th title in person, I was 15 at the time. But even I understood that I just saw history. And it adds a level of gravitas, a specialty to a race, a season, you name it. And what we're witnessing from Heim, while we may not like domination in the moment, you gotta acknowledge we are witnessing history right now. But coming in first is, of course, the Cup Series race. I thought the race was solid. You know, a solid, I guess we'll spoil it now, a solid B race. You had comers and goers. Strategy mattered a bit, but it wasn't a barn burner, but you had battles for the lead. It felt like the driver mattered a little bit more. It didn't feel like dirty air, clean air was as much of a deal as it was at a Gateway or a Darlington. It felt like the drivers had a little more input into it. It felt like the car didn't hold them back too much. You saw a lot of battles for the lead. Of course, Blaney versus Barry, Logano versus Blaney. There were a lot of highlights in this race. It wasn't a flashy race. Again, it wasn't Bristol last week. It wasn't the Coke 600. It wasn't Atlanta, but it was a good, when I tell people what a good NASCAR race looks like, not great, not phenomenal, not horrible, not bad, just good. A race that gets the job done is good. Honestly, this is the perfect definition. I want to see Heim break the win record so bad. You and me too, man. You and me too. Me too. Love history. I go way back. Did you know Mike Skinner's the first person that won the championship in the Truck Series? That is correct. I believe he was in the Good Wrench number 3 truck when he won the championship, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe that title, or if it was that title in like a season or two after that, is what got him promoted to the Lowe's 31. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what it is. Why am I at the Homestead Race Weekend rankings? We haven't been at Homestead in a long time. Here we go. All right, the 2025 tier. I'll put the truck race kind of the back in the C tier. Again, I love history, but you know, the race itself was kind of meh. Really not much to talk about. And then the Cup race, again, solid B tier race. So I'll put this right here. Actually, no, I'll put it here. Yeah, good. Solid B plus race. Again, definition of a B race is this one right here. So there we go. That is our race weekend rankings post New Hampshire or Loudon or New England, whatever you want to call it. I call it Loudon. It's easier to say. But other than that, I believe that's all we have left to talk about. If I don't believe I missed anything, I believe that is going to be it for this show. These playoff episodes have been kind of short. I know last week was only about 38 minutes. This one looks like it's going to be around 31, 32 minutes. But yeah, kind of the format. But hey, nothing wrong with that as well. And we might have some more streams coming in the future. I already talked about in the Daily Downforce Discord, which actually, by the way, speaking of the Daily Downforce Discord, I do want to start bringing back the was it above or below the cut line, which I've been doing in the Discord, but I do need to bring it out. Why isn't it? Oh, now I know why. Above or below. Here we go. All right. So before we go, was the truck race allowed in above or below the cut line? 6 people voted. 50% voted for on. 50% voted for below. I don't think I voted on this poll, but if I did, I'd probably vote for on. Again, gives it a little more brownie points because, again, witnessing history. And then Cup so far, we have 10 votes. 70% vote for above. 30% voted for on. I voted for on, though honestly, I'm talking myself into above. So we'll change that to 80% and then 20. And if you guys want to vote on these polls, head over to the Daily Downforce Discord. They will always be after every race in the race reaction channel. Again, the exclusive way to vote on these polls, head over to the Daily Downforce Discord. Race reaction, I post it after every race. Or if I don't get to post it because I'm busy or something, then shout out to the amazing people in the Daily Downforce Discord. I know Raging Knuckles, he helps me out with that as well. They will also post it as well. But with that being said, now we're going to head out of here. So that's going to do it for us today, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. I'm excited for Kansas this week. Not because it's Kansas in the Cup Series, but because it's Kansas All Night Racing, baby. My best track is Kansas All Night Racing. And you already know I'm going to farm that track from Monday to next for all week and just farm wins left and right. Maybe I should do a stream about that. Would you guys watch a stream of me on iRacing? Whether it's me dominating a race or me just completely crashing out and finishing last. Because I'm literally not kidding. That's me on iRacing. I'm feast or famine. I'm being very serious. But would you guys watch that? Let me know in the comments or in the chat here before we head off, or let me know in the Discord. I'll ask the question there as well. But that's gonna do it for me, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please like this stream and subscribe to the Daily Downforce YouTube channel. That is the best way you can help me out. Check out dailydownforce.com as well. We got all sorts of great content over there. Stories, mini games, more content creators, you name it. If you like NASCAR, there is something that we have for you over at the Daily Downforce website. But I'm going to head out, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go Colts. Kyle Larson, please win again soon. I'm probably going to farm my racing, and we will see you in the next stream. Bye, guys.